Hey guys, this is Jason Zern from Gridiron Football here. Another playoff bracket breakdown here on Ballin the Boot. I am joined by Daryl Felker, Alex Allison, and Grant Sastre, who's on the road. So join with us as well. This will be the last time he's got to run a couple of errands. So appreciate Grant for his time, but this will be the last playoff breakdown that he'll be joining us. So I'll give him a chance by the end to give a shout out to Crescent City Sports and River Sports Media. But make sure to go and follow our content at gridironfootballusa.com and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well and follow our latest episodes. All right, guys, let's go and talk about Division Three Select and a lot of heavy hitters in this playoff bracket, and a lot of them are finally get to play this week. So let's go and talk about it. So number one, the Dunham Tigers, they get themselves a playoff bye. They will play Parkview Baptist, who defeated Lafayette Renaissance 49-21. And remember, Dunham and Parkview ended Dunham's season last year. Dunham has a chance to really repay that favor. And then also Lafayette Christian gets a 72-0 win over Beekman Charter. So LCA is saying, hey, we're here in this playoff bracket, guys. Don't forget about us. And that sets up a great matchup between number 8 Notre Dame and number 9 LCA. That will be another great one to go and see. Bunky coming off a bye. Talking about playoff matchups, we're going to talk a lot about this second round. Look at the matchups in the second round of the playoffs. Amy, a 56-0 winner over Sarah T. Reed. Amy and Bunky in the second round of the playoffs. That will be another great football game. Star Charter able to take care of business of being Thomas Jefferson 50-20. They'll take on Jewel Sumner as a bye. Calvary Baptist, the defending state champions in this playoff bracket, will take on De La Salle as De La Salle, the Cavaliers, get a 48-0 win over the Fisher Gators. Congratulations to Fisher on a great season, making the playoffs, one of their best seasons in school history, but they come up short of a playoff win to the Cavaliers. Pope John Paul talking about great program seasons. Pope John Paul having a really good one. 39-14 winners over Holy Savior Menard. And guess what? That's the game I'm going to on Friday because the Episcopal Knights will host the Pope John Paul II Jaguars, and I'll have that call on Varsity Sports Now on Friday. Catholic New Iberia will take on North Lake Christian as Catholic New Iberia had themselves a bye. North Lake Christian were 48-16 winners over St. Louis Catholic. And then finally, the Arbonne Woods Charter, their first playoff win in program history over Country Day. Congratulations to Arbonne Woods Charter on getting a 42-24 win over Country Day. Congratulations for your first playoff victory. Guess who you have? The Newman Greenies in the second round, the number 2 seed. So those are your playoff matchups. I know Grant's driving, so right now I don't think there's too many playoff games that really stand out. Everybody took care of business. All the higher seeds won. So let's go and talk about the second round of the playoffs. Dunham, the number 1 seed in this bracket, led by some guy, I think you might have heard of him, Elijah Haven, the number one quarterback in the country in the class of 2027. He lost to Parkview Baptist twice last year. He beat them once in the regular season. Now he gets a chance to end their season in the playoffs. Does everybody have Dunham moving and advancing in the next round?
Yeah.
Yes, although it's still Parkview Baptist. You know, it's not like this is necessarily a walk in the park. But yes, Dunham. Sure.
Yeah, I'm rolling with Dunham as well. I think they'll be able to get their revenge.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think it's going to be that close. I mean, Dunham beat this Parkview Baptist team by a lot earlier this year. I like this Dunham football team. I think it's going to be more of the same. They remember how last year ended, so I'm going to go with the Dunham Tigers to advance to the quarterfinals. How about this? LCA and Notre Dame. These are 2 proud programs right here. They played this year, and LCA lost to Notre Dame 42-28. So that was the regular season matchup. Now they play in the playoffs. LCA is as dangerous as they come with the weapons on offense. Alex, you got a chance to see them earlier this year. Notre Dame, they're well coached. Willie Cook is a Hall of Famer, one of the greatest. Put him on the Mount Rushmore in terms of Louisiana high school football coaches. Absolute legend. This should be a great football game. Does Notre Dame? We've seen this has been a trend in the playoffs where where teams lost twice in the regular season and the playoffs. Does Notre Dame continue that trend, or does LCA get the win and get revenge?
I'm consider me biased. I haven't seen Notre Dame. I have seen LCA. I will take LCA in this game. I watched their 1-win pre-coach change, so it's probably a fundamentally very different team. But LCA, I think, is a really good football team. And I don't want to put too much stock into like the number here, but it's just the one notable result from this first round. I thought was LCA beating Demon Turner 72-0.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Just the number is interesting, but that doesn't really move the needle here. That's not why LCA is the team I'm picking. It's just because it's a very talented team. We know what they can do. We know the sort of things they can bring to a state championship run. They've done it before. So I will go ahead and take LCA here, even after losing Notre Dame earlier in the season to eventually lose.
All right, Daryl, who you have here? You have LCA getting revenge, or you have Notre Dame being LCA twice?
It's tough because, like we said, I mean, we've seen the matchups in the previous brackets where they played during the regular season and matched up in the playoffs. And like for John Curtis, brother Martin, first example that comes to my mind, they were able to pull out the win once again. But I'm not too sure about this game. I mean, like Alex said, if there was one score from round one that really stood out to me, a 72-0 win is a big statement game. So I'm not sure. I mean, if they're able to ride that, I'm not sure because last time the score was 42-28. It's not like it was a super big blowout game. It's 2 possessions. So I definitely think this is going to be a really good game, and I'll roll with LCA for the quote unquote upset. But I mean, they're 8 and 9 seeds, so I think it's pretty fairly matched.
Okay, I got you, Daryl. What do you think, Grant, about this game? Notre Dame, do you think they get the win over LCA again, or does LCA get revenge?
This is a very interesting game for many reasons. You already mentioned the first one, the fact that this game was decided in the regular season, a game in which Notre Dame won. This game is also interesting. The fact that, as you also said, that LCA is, they're playing with 2 head coaches, as we all know that.
Yeah.
Coach Lockhart was let go in the middle of the season. Not the most ideal situation, but it seems like it was the best for the program as they've been playing some really good football as of late. However, I think Notre Dame will win this game just because, I think every year I think almost every year actually it's been every year that Louis Cook has been with Notre Dame, I think they've been in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Or it was either that or they've never had lower than the 8th seed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure which was which, but I know. But usually Notre Dame goes very far. I think Notre Dame is maybe a little bit more experienced than LCA is. LCA has got a lot of talent, but they're still a young team. I think
Pretty young.
I'm going to roll with the Pilots this one, with Louis Cook and his experience.
Yeah, I agree with you, Grant. I'm with you too. Notre Dame, even though I was thinking about LCA, but with the statement they made in the first round, I think they're getting used to the situation at this time of the year. They're playing a lot better football, but Notre Dame's an experienced football team. They're well coached. Louis Cook is one of the best out there. Jackson Casanova, they got some talent too over there at Notre Dame, but they're well coached, and they're going to be in position to win. And we see in the playoffs, it doesn't necessarily mean, okay, like you lost to this team in the regular season. It's time for you to get revenge. We've seen the teams win twice. I mean, we've seen John Curtis do that. We've seen Walker do that to Dutchtown. So it's getting revenge, being a team twice is really not as hard to do as you think. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame to get the win at home. So, but we're pretty split on that, and for good reasons. Bunkie and Amy. Bunkie's having their best season in program history, 10-0, undefeated, one of the few undefeated teams left, led by Houston commit and Gridiron Football All-American Bowl Game commit Colin Johnson, and they'll take on the Amy Warriors. Amy can definitely throw the football as they've always been used to, and Amy's been a state championship team. A heck of a playoff matchup between Bunkie and Amy. We're going to go with Grant first here. Grant, who do you have coming out of this one, Amy or Bunky?
Bunky's had a great season. They, of course, and great's an understatement. They finished the regular season 10-0, undefeated. They have a lot of really good players, especially with Kyle Johnson, and then also,
Dylan
what's the
Compton?
last name? Dylan Compton, yes.
Yep.
He's a fantastic quarterback as well. However, I just think that, the fact that Bunky is coming off a bye is kind of scaring me. Yes, that is a rest period, but Amy has played some really good football as of late. They up to their 29-27 overtime loss to Jules Sumner. They were on it was a 7-game winning streak, and the one loss, and then their only loss, of course, was their last game against Jules Sumner in overtime. I think Amy's playing some really good football right now. I think their offense is settled in. Jeremy Franklin is a great quarterback, and he also has a lot of great receivers. Jamiron Dillon, the running back, he's only a freshman, but he's made a huge impact on the team already. Just seeing this Amy team already, and then also just given Amy's past track record, I think they're going to win this game against Bunky. I think Bunky, as great of a team as they are, I just think that Amy's experience will play key in this one. Bunky last year, remember, got eliminated in the second round as well.
Yeah, by Episcopal.
So I think, Bunky really hasn't got a chance to go far in the playoffs yet. If Bunky had gone to the quarterfinals last year, I think they would have beat Amy, but I think the experience year in and year out in the playoffs, and also the expectations that are placed on Amy year in and year out, it's going to be hard for me to see Bunky winning against Amy. I'm going to pick Amy in the upset.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think I'm going to go with Bunky because the reason why is that this is one of those teams that's Jimmy Hillman. They know it's a special team. Dylan Compton, quarterback, Kyle Johnson. Amy's had a lot of state championship teams. This team's going to be really good next year as well. They're going to be back for a state championship run again. I'm not so sure about Bunky. That they got a lot to replace especially this team. But I think this team is now or never with this Bunky team. You only get so many senior squads like you did with this. This is a special senior class. So if you're going to get on the run, you got to do it now. If you're the Bunky Panthers. So for me, I think it's desperation. I'm going to go with the Bunky Panthers. They're at home. It's going to be a great atmosphere at Bunky. I'm going to go with Bunky, knowing that it is now or never for this Bunky team.
I'll be brief here because I talked about this a lot, and I think Jace basically hit the nail on the head here. I took this Bunky team to make it to the Dome this year for the exact reasons that he just outlined. That this is the team. Bunky has to do it this year because it is the senior class, and I've heard some great. I haven't had a chance to see them. They were at our media day earlier this year, and actually the coach talked a lot about the bye week and what he learned from how to handle the bye week. And how they didn't handle it the right way last year. So I trust in this Bunky team to handle it the right way this year. Handle a really good Amy team. This is nothing against Amy. It's just this has to be the year for Bunky. So I will be taking it.
Daryl, so we got 2 for Bunky, 1 for Amy. Who you're leaning towards?
I'm leaning towards Amy just a little bit. I mean, like we said, it's hard because Bunky is undefeated. They haven't lost all season. So, I mean, I'm not against them at all. I would love to see them win and keep the undefeated season going. But when looking at Amy's schedule, we talked about their only loss was to Jules Sumner in overtime. Besides that, to close the season, they had a lot of big-time shutout wins. And, I mean, it's going to be a really fun game to watch. But I'm gonna roll with Amy.
Before we move on, I also want to mention this one thing too. Alex, you mentioned, this has to be the team that go there. This has to be the team that goes to the Dome. Guess who doesn't care about that? Amy.
Well, of course.
All the pressure is on Bunky to win this game, and I think that is why Amy's going to win this game because the pressure's on Amy there, and then also Amy's just bigger. They're a bigger team than Bunky. Overall, if you look at the line, you look at receivers, and you look at the cornerback, just everywhere. If you look at everywhere, Amy's just the bigger team, and I'm gonna have to factor that in when it comes to playing. I always look at them. It's not just about the seeding; it's not about how good the team is. How do these players match up against these players? what do you think? Oh, well, like, does this team have the experience? What's this team's experience being in these type of moments compared to this team? It's all that factor in. That's why I have Amy beating Bucky. And actually, that's why I have Amy going forward to go to the state championship. Just because not just because of experience, but their size and their speed and their athleticism at every single position.
And Amy's done it before. They won plenty of state championships, and they can definitely make a deep run. This is a deep bracket. A lot of teams that can do that, and potentially we could see an A-Meet and Jules Sumner matchup, and that'll be interesting. And then we get that. Bunky is definitely an A-Meet's way. Slaughter Charter is a good football team. We got a chance to call them against Episcopal. They actually took a lead on Episcopal, but Jules Sumner is a really good football team, kind of like Amy in a way, without the pedigree of the state championships, like Grant mentioned. They don't throw it as much. Amy throws the ball downfield, but they're big, they're physical, they're athletic. So that's going to be a great matchup potentially if Jules Sumner which I assume they will. So I have Jules Sumner advancing and defeating Slaughter Charter. I'm sure everybody's in unison on that pick.
Yep.
So I'm sure, and Grant, I know Grant is really high on Jules Sumner for sure. And Daryl, so everybody's got Jules Sumner. Okay, moving on, the battle of the Cavaliers, Calvary Baptist, and De La Salle. Calvary Baptist is the defending Division III Select State champions. They'll take on the Cavaliers of De La Salle. De La Salle is a good program. It's been in the state championship a couple of times too, but Calvary Baptist, it's just too much. I have this team in Calvary Baptist winning the state championship this year. So I got to roll with Calvary Baptist. This is too much offensive firepower.
Yeah, I mean, we've heard the stigma from Grant and just from listening around about Shreveport teams, but the fact that he was like, no, all the teams probably besides Calvary Baptist,
the exception.
Yeah. I mean, I think just that alone, just having that kind of respect for that team, I think that shows that this is a game that they'll win, and I'm gonna roll with Calvary Baptist.
All right, Alex, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, Calvary Baptist is one of the best teams in this bracket. I have a lot of respect for De La Salle's team, but no, it's Calvary Baptist here, absolutely.
And Grant, you also have Calvary Baptist?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so moving on to the next game. Episcopal, my Knights of Episcopal had a bye. They'll take on Pope John Paul II. Pope John Paul's having a great year, great breakout year. Coach Piggott over there, he does a great job with that program. And DJ Jenkins, also a Gridiron Football American Bowl Game commit, the defensive ends at Pope John Paul. Great season for them. Episcopal, also led by another Gridiron Football American Bowl Game commit, Reed Chauvin and Knights. Travis Bourgeois has been as consistent as they come. They've had, I think, like 6 or 7 straight quarterfinal seasons. Been over there for 30 years. A consistent, well-coached football team and football program. Their defense is phenomenal. I can't make a pick like Kirk Herbstreit on College Game Day. Not making a decision here. Not picking this football game. I'll let y'all decide and pick it. So I don't get a tussle with the Knights fans. So y'all go ahead and y'all talk about this game.
Yeah, I'll take Episcopal.
Okay, Episcopal. Or how about you, Daryl?
I don't know as much about Pope John Paul. I mean, I've heard good things about them, but I saw Episcopal. That was actually my first game. It was at a jamboree, so it wasn't high level, but I mean they look good. I mean, I know you can't say I'll roll with Episcopal.
All right, Grant.
This would be a very interesting matchup. I think this game will be close. Pope John Paul II has had a great season. They got some great athletes. Episcopal, same thing. They got some pretty good athletes. Reed Chauvin had that phenomenal year. Episcopal's defense. Todd Callahan has also had a great year as well. I'm gonna have to pick the Knights on this one. I think it'll be a close game, but I think the Knights will pull it off.
Yep, and now it continues the streak of going quarterfinals in a row if they get the win. And also the bottom side of the bracket, Catholic New Iberia, they got a really good quarterback, Luke Landry as well, senior quarterback, and they exited the playoffs early last year. They're trying, like Bunky, right, trying to avenge that early playoff exit and make a deep playoff run. Northlake Christian's got a really good running back in Cameron Casnave as well. This could be a higher scoring football game between the two, between the Panthers and the Wolverines. Grant, who do you have with the edge here?
Oh, it was Northern Christian and who was the other team?
Catholic New Iberia.
Captain New Iberia.
Yep.
Ooh, this would be a close one. But I'm gonna have to go with Catholic New Iberia and this one.
Yeah.
Last year was a 20 year for them because they were higher. I think they were the fourth or the fifth seed. They got upset in the second round by Lake Charles College Prep.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna pick Catholic New Iberia to rebound and get a win, and they'll have a quarterfinal matchup with the Newman Greenies, and that should be a very interesting matchup next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I like Catholic New Iberia with the same reasons you just said. I like their veteran quarterback. They've had some impressive wins. They defeated Notre Dame earlier this year. I thought that was a very impressive win for Catholic New Iberia. So I've seen this Northlake Christian team up close and personal. Cameron Casnave's a really good running back. They gave Episcopal all that they can handle in the first half. I thought that was going to be down to the wire, but Episcopal really dominated that second half. Was a little shocked by that in the second half of play. But yeah, this is a good Northlake Christian team having a great season under Coach Willis. They defeated Pope John Paul earlier this year. Logan Graffi was at that game covering it. But I'm going to go with Catholic New Iberia with that. I mean, they have a little extra oomph to them. They're trying to bounce back and avoid that early playoff exit last year.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with you guys. I think Catholic New Iberia is going to win this matchup. And I think they'll be facing off against Newman next week, and what should be a really good game.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief. I'll also take Catholic New Iberia. We'll see what the bye does. I think Northlake Christian will make the game interesting, but I'll take Catholic New Iberia to win. Maybe closer than some would expect, but they'll win.
Okay, I got you. I think we all pretty much said it before saying it, but Garbon Woods Chargers having a really good season, first playoff win in program history, but Newman is at a different level. This is probably their best team, and they've had Arch Manning at quarterback, but this is probably their best team they've ever had, at least their most physical football team. I got Newman moving on, and and y'all alluded to that as well.
They're my state title pick. I'm not changing it now.
Right, exactly. And I know Grant and Daryl said that. So that's your Division III select playoff bracket. Grant, I know this is the last time you joined us. I appreciate your time. I know you got to run a couple of errands. So make sure to give us a love to Crescent City Sports.
Definitely. And Jake, thanks for having me on again. Sorry I had to cut it short. I'm going to Marlon Favorite's show. I'm going to go support my dog, Marlon Favorite, former LSU Tiger. Big Dave, former LSU Tiger, was a player in the NFL for a while. He's also a colleague of me and Jason. He's in the media space now and everything. So go to his show and go watch it live from Small Sliders. So that's why I stopped to. But but I try to do as much as I possibly could. I know you, Jason. I know you're gonna do a good job. But Daryl and Alex, you guys done a great job all year with your coverage. Not only in Ballin the Boot, but all your articles. So I know they're gonna take it away, and it's time to give them the spotlight. But I'll be back next week. Of course, me and Jace, we're going to be having our round 2 preview that will be out Wednesday or Thursday. Of course, our round 1 recap's already out on YouTube, and then we'll have our nightcap show on Friday night. So make sure to tune in on that on Ruger Sports Media on YouTube. So go check that out, Jace. I'm pretty. You might leave a link in there as well, so people go check it out. But Jace, thanks for having me on again. I'm glad we're doing this weekly, my man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate your hard work. You're doing a great job at Crescent City Sports and Rigorous Sports Media. Keep up the good work, buddy. Check out Grant's work at CrescentCitySports.com. Make sure to follow us as well, GridironFootballUSA.com. Check out all of our articles or all of his latest content, high school football playoff recaps. Go to our YouTube channel as well. Not only have these playoff bracket breakdowns, well, there are great shows. We have Gridiron Football commit articles and highlights as well. If you want to check out their highlights, they're on our YouTube channel, and check out some of these playoff game highlights our beat writers are able to come up with as well. So make sure to check us out. And guys, we'll have another playoff bracket breakdown. We'll check with Grant next week as we break down the quarterfinal action next week and recap round 2. This is Jason Zerm from Gridiron Football for Daryl Felker, for Alex Allison, for Grant Sashray. I'm Jason Zern. We'll see y'all next time on another playoff bracket breakdown here on Ball in the Boot.